really none of your business. It's none of my business.
Hello, Fáilte, bonsoir, and welcome to the Motivated Classroom. This is day 3 of the August Spotlight on the interviews, and today I am focusing on the great interview I had with Dr. Chris Martin. Again, focusing on motivation, self-determination theory, but his research really looking at parental engagement. And I guess looking back on the notes, one of the first things that struck me was how Chris really talked to us about his research and the importance of communication with parents and making sure that they're on side. That if we have the parents on side and they're convinced of the importance of the learning, of why learning a language is vital and useful, then it's going to really help us to have the students who are motivated, because we have them also at home talking about its importance. And remember, as Richard Ryan said in his interview, that, you know, the big key thing is that students need to see value, and they need to see interest, and they need to see that there is a place and importance about what they're doing. They need to feel connected to it. So if their parents are also saying learning languages is important, then this is going to really help us. So some of the really important notes he made, and I really like this. I'm going to read out the quote from this one, which I thought was lovely. So he says, "Parents do recognise the instrumental value of learning a language. They understand it's good to have a language to secure a good career. And, you know, it'll help traveling and so on. But I think we need to move away from this instrumental view of language learning and have a more integrative view of language learning, and being able to say, yeah, it's good for a job, it's good for traveling, but what about all the other benefits? The cognitive, the linguistic, the communicative. What about all of those other benefits that people actually don't make reference to?" And I was just like, thank you, Chris, for saying that. And actually, Eowyn Crisfield mentioned almost something identical in her interview later in the series. So really trying to get this across to parents that yes, languages open doors, and yes, languages are useful for getting a job and getting more salary. We know that that's a fact, but they are so much more than that. Languages open our arms, our hearts to people who don't look like us, who don't sound like us, who are different to us. They help us to be more empathetic, more understanding. They help our cognition. They help our understanding with other areas of life. So I thought that was really lovely that Chris mentioned that. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up just about what Chris spoke about was just about the importance of what is going on at home, in terms of if the parents understand what's happening in your classroom and they can see the value in it, and they see that their child is enjoying it, they're going to get behind it. And he does this great thing at the end of the interview, and I asked him important things for classroom practice, and this really resonated with me when Chris kind of said we have to avoid at all costs the idea of frustrating classroom experiences where children become demotivated by some of the activities because we do them in this mundane, monotonous way, copying from a book or a textbook. So if the child goes home to their parents and says, oh, I've had another really boring French lesson because all we've done is copy out of a textbook, what's that actually going to say to the parents? Just that their child is doing something that they don't enjoy. So we have to really avoid this idea of frustrating language experiences in the classroom. And I thought that was really important, you know, that yes, not every single student is going to be intrinsically motivated in learning a language and wanting to do it for the rest of their life, and that's reality. But at the very least, we should be making our classroom experiences places that are not frustrating to them, that are not demotivating, that they don't hate. At the very least, it should be something that they're saying, yeah, like it's good fun, I enjoy it, but you know, maybe I prefer to do chemistry. That's fine, you know, I think that's important. And he also makes a really nice point about self-care and looking after ourselves. And he said that it's really important that our own frustrations as teachers are not transmitted to the children, because it's not only parents that are transmitters of educational values, but we are as teachers. So important. So thank you for that, Chris, is that when we've had a long day and we've had a difficult class, or we've had that another thing we have to do in the curriculum, or we have another report that has to get written, we can't let that come through in our class to the kids. It's not fair on them. We have to just be there, be present, and try and focus on those autonomy, competence, relatedness, those needs for motivation. That's day 3 of the August Spotlight on the interviews with Dr. Chris Martin. Please go ahead and check it out. It's episode 58. It's certainly worth your time. Hasta mañana.